Yo, let's get the business.
Let's get the business.
Everything's going good, man. What about you?
I had to pull up on you, man. I had to come chop it up with you.
Man, my bad too, man. We were trying to do this for I don't know how
We'll get in
long.
that a little bit later. You know, he's a busy man. No doubt about it, bro. But you know, I had to come lock in with my dog. It's been a minute. How you been living, man?
I've been doing pretty good, man.
Word.
Yeah, just working.
Always working on something.
Yeah.
Well, you got a project you working on? What's poppin'?
Right now, I'm in the middle of renovating my studio, so I'm doing that. Obviously, still working, developing Marzz. I'm working with another young artist that's fire. Been helping build a couple nonprofits throughout the city. Been running like a lot of social media consulting and things like that. So I've been busy, man. But I'm kind of into everything at this point.
Yeah, you always got your hands in a little bit of something. You know what I mean? You're definitely a legend around this way, so it's only right and only proper that they got to come and break it down for the people. Make sure they are aware of what's going on out here. You're a busy man. You stay on the go. You're the pro marketing, pro communication skills, the love, the inspiration, the cool, calm, and collectedness. You know what I mean? Your insight on the business aspect of the music world, of course. You know what I mean? Student of the game, entrepreneur, influencer, producer, beat maker, love for music, great ear and vibe for the music. Naturally, you know what I mean? It's always just been organic, been real easy for you since I've known you.
I'm gonna need that.
Yeah.
Send that to me. Now.
What's that?
What you just wrote.
Oh, no doubt. They gotta know, bro. It's documented, Phil. So you're always putting in that work, man.
Yeah.
You planted a seed in the culture, and you've been a strong representation of that. You got your hand gripped on it, and in multiple different avenues and lanes, you know what I mean? Consistent with the content, the gems, and you always dropping them gems, man. What makes you want to do that for the people? Healthy, inspirational, useful gems.
Yeah,
you know
I mean, really, because like it's just kind of how I grew into a person, like viewing things like that. Like I wasn't even into philosophy or nothing like that for a long time, and then met a dude named George Slaughter. Who started turning me on. He's like really heavy into like quantum physics, and he's like a hood nigga, but he's super into quantum physics. So it's kind of wild watching a street guy talk to you about quantum physics in a street lingo. You know what I mean? It ain't like you talking to a physicist and they break using all the big terms. He's like, "Hey nigga, listen man, the fourth dimension." And it's like
he got the knowledge to put his own sauce on.
Yeah, so he turned me on to like philosophy. I started getting into that, and what I came to realize, bro, is like a lot of progress or success that you're trying to shoot for, it really does depend on you. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like so many people are so distracted, like they don't, depending on where you grew up and how you grew up, what environment you was in, you can get distracted of what really works to further your life into a better space. And I think a lot of us get distracted and we don't know. So I'm always trying to use what I learned and try to just share it with people. Because it worked for me. The way I think worked for me. But I was kind of taught to think this way. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking from experience,
yeah,
you give people advice.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know what you mean. It's a lot of the mind frame, the mindset.
Yeah, a lot.
People doubt themselves. They lack confidence. They compare themselves to other people, which that's a thief of joy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you there to remind them, like, it's all in your mind. That's where it starts.
Yeah, it always starts in your mind. Like, I think you ever heard of the phrase where they said seeds is a dreams to reality, and basically what that means is like we as a people, we you walk out your door and you might see like anything, car, chair, buildings, and what people take for granted is like all these things that we live and use every day without thinking is like they all came from a single thought. Like somebody thought about it first. Feel me? So they just, the difference was how they worked towards it and made it into what it is. And that's just where I want to be at, man. I want to be actionable and not you know what I'm saying,
plan and execute.
Want to execute, man. That's been the most important part of my journey that I've learned over time is like execute, get shit done, you know what I'm saying, and move on to the next.
Plan is just part of the transition to the execution.
100%.
So man, you're a busy man from LA to New York to back and around the globe and everything, man. How do you balance out your schedule? really is.
I really don't. There is no balance in the schedule. Yeah, it's just I got shit to do. I know when I got to do it, and you know, because my life, everything changes every day. I don't care how much I plan. It could be one moment that changes the next 3 months.
Absolutely.
So for me, I mean, obviously, yeah, I plan, and I have a team, and you know, they keep me on point with what I got coming up next, things like that. But I have to pivot a lot. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do schedule my time properly, but I'm always open to moving different if it calls for it. So so yeah, there ain't really this. I do schedule my time, but not really.
Yeah, there's really no answer to it. But I appreciate your time this afternoon. You know what I mean? It's a nice day. I still got my shades on. We inside. You know what I mean? So, and I know you got things to do right now.
Always.
Because you stay on the Grizzy. So a little bit about your upbringing real quick for the people in the back that don't know. Were you always tapped into music?
In a way, yeah. When I was like in middle school, I went to, and people back home know this, but I went to JTA. I went to James T. Right. So I went to the country school a little bit.
Small.
Yeah, but I used to go to all the school dances. I used to dance. I thought I was MC Hammer for a while, for about a year.
You from that era, though?
Yeah. And so I was doing the dances.
Y'all was getting busy back there.
Yeah, we used to be at the school dance like no cap. Like, this is real. I used to be at the school dance, and we would talk to each other, and we were like, "Yo, you want to do the hammer?" And we would do the dance. It was weird. Like, you think about it, it's like, that's weird.
Like dance battles. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like going to your homie and be like, "Yo, you want to hop on Call of Duty real quick?" And like, yeah, that's how it was. Like, hey, you want to do the a specific thing? Hey, you want to do the hammer? You want to do the running man?
You get that.
And you just start doing it, and it's like you're just in your own little world. But I always, I danced a lot. I always loved music. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, I grew up in a real abusive home, but the one thing I could say is like my father always would play music in the crib, and he would like. It's almost like I was like a fucking I was like a jester almost for him. He would like dance. And I'm like, bet. And I just be in the living room going ham, dancing, doing all this crazy. He'd be like, yeah, he'd be cheering me on. So, I always had a love for music, and over time is when it turned into a real thing for me, a thing that I would do every day.
But you the music monster, the music maniac.
But it started me doing the hammer.
Break it down. You had the pants on?
I had them on.
I
used to go to E-Town Mall. We used to go to Town Mall. There's a little store in the back, towards the end of the mall. I used to go, they had all the parachute pants. I'd be like going through the rack. Yeah, I'm gonna get these. I'm gonna get.
Hammer was platinum though. A lot of people don't understand though. He was the thing, man.
Yeah, he was the man. So yeah. So I've always been into music.
That's hard, bro. Yeah, you the music phenomenon right now, man. You got. I got nicknames for you: the keyboard magician. You know what I mean? I go on. Man, the music maniac. I'm telling you, let's get the business though. So, did you always have the vision though? Because now the level that you've catapulted to today, you know what I mean? A lot of people look at you for musical advice, for business advice, for marketing advice, for entrepreneurship advice, for anything. You know what I mean? You one of those ones. You one of those hubs, centerpieces. You know what I mean? So did you see yourself like that?
No,
or did it just come?
Nah, not even close.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It was I think we all start like that. We don't be knowing.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? We just have an idea, and then we try to shoot for it. You don't even know how that's gonna turn out. It might not even be that way that you get in the door. Like for me, it wasn't the way I thought. It was actually I got in the door when I stopped trying in a weird way.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? And it was weird because it was like I wasn't even doing music, but it's like that I did so much of it, and I had such a reputation that the music shit would always find me. And so, but in the beginning, I didn't know that I would. If you would have told me today, like, yo, man, you and Eryka Badu are gonna be real tight friends.
That's crazy.
I'm like,
don't get into that.
I'm like, what? You tripping? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Chilling with Wendy Day.
Yeah, or Wendy, or a lot of these celebrities that I've met over time. It's like when I lived in Rad Club, you couldn't have told me that this was going to be this. You know what I'm saying? It's just, but you do get to a point where you start realizing like how far you can go. So in the beginning, no, I didn't have an understanding of what I would become or if I would even be this far. I just loved music.
So what was one of those breaking points you was like, you hit a certain city, or you was on a certain platform, or you went to a certain event, or you was in a certain room, where you was like, yeah, this is different right here. You know what I mean? This is, you know, I'm in this space.
When so I moved to New York in like maybe '99. I think.
Shout out to the NY.
Yeah, I moved to New York on a whim. Had an opportunity.
Yeah.
My you know, I just had a random opportunity. I'm sleeping couch to couch. I'm couch surfing at the time. Don't have a crib to stay in. And somebody asked me, "Was like, yo, you want to go to New York?" Ended up in New York, and it kind of changed my life because the speed is different up there. You know, a lot of people, they've only seen New York on TV or on Instagram. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when you go there and you like absorb the culture, it changes you. So we ended up, me and my partner used to walk from Queens to New Jersey. We would catch like a bus, and hop the train, all that shit. Carrying a big ass keyboard, we would go to a studio in New Jersey called Sugar Hill Studio. What I found out is that at the time, that studio was, one of the rooms was being ran by Puff, and he was developing these groups. I didn't know that. I was just in the room. And,
that's crazy work.
Yeah, and one day I just started fucking around with beats.
It don't get no more hip hop than this. Not to cut you off, but y'all traveling the train.
Oh yeah.
Y'all going
we was
barrel to barrel.
Bro, we was carrying a 70. We was carrying a 70 key or 60 something key weighted key Triton keyboard, which was the heaviest one. We don't have no cape. Me and my boy Chris, we walking through Jamaica Queens, South Jamaica Queens, walking around with a $1,000 piece of equipment. And I used to be like, we're gonna get robbed, bro. I know it. Somebody's gonna be like, somebody's gonna be like, yo, we need that keyboard, homie.
Absolute facts.
But in a weird, it's almost like it's almost like they, man, leave them alone.
But just respect it. Let them do their thing.
So we walking to the bus station, catching a bus to the train station, from the train station getting to the bus station in Newark, getting off in New Jersey, getting off that train, walking to another bus stop, that bus stop to the studio. So it's like an hour and a half travel each way, but that's how determined we was. But when I was in that room, I started making this beat. I started flipping Biggie's 10 Crack Commandments, and I made it real R&B. And a dude came, this dude named Hennessy comes in. He was like, yo, he's like, who made that beat? And I was like, me. He was like, bro, you can come here every day. You can stay here. You don't even have to leave.
Spend on them.
I was like, yo, that's crazy. Yeah, and it was just crazy. So
that's wild.
That was the moment where I was like maybe I'm good enough for real. You know what I'm saying? Because if this stranger that I don't know is like this excited, maybe I'm good enough. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of one of the key moments where I was like, I think I'm gonna do this. Plus
being in the holy mecca of what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you in the middle of New York, and now you're getting respected
by
the boroughs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I love that, bro. You catch any OGs or mentors along the way?
I mean, yeah. My you know, my dude Billy, who's one of the guys that had me come to New York. That's one of my. It's like my big brother, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to him,
and he's the one who kind of helped me down in New York. Yeah. We bumped heads a few times. It's like he's like a brother to me,
like a brother.
So it's like whatever. But we did a lot. He got me my first placement ever on a beat. Which when I left New York, he was still running around Far Rock shopping my tape.
Far Rockaway?
Beat, yeah, and he ended up getting it.
Far Rockaway fam.
Yeah. And he knew Stack Bundles, so he ran into Stack. He gave him my beat CD, and Stack they actually used one of my records. So it was like my first placement, so to speak, as a producer. And I was already a fan of Stack Bundles.
That's hard,
you know
bro. Shout out to Stack.
And I was like, damn, you know.
I mean, you sent me a joint one time. You was like, yo, Ghostface ain't gonna use this. I was like, who'd you say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even
Shout
the Ghostface shit was crazy, you know, doing the Ghostface. So, that I would say, you know, Billy's one of my mentors in New York.
Area that Far Rockaway?
Yeah, Far Rock. Yeah,
Flea Lord?
Yeah, Flea is Flea Lord.
Shout out to Flea. That's one of my favorite artists, bro.
Yeah, Flea's dope. I talked to him a couple times. Me and Bino's real tight still. I still fuck with a lot of people up there. So, but I say as a mentor, I say probably like Billy or my boy Bino, or you know, those guys I look up to, and they always pick up the call.
Man, shout out to them, bro.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, man, because you got all kinds of backgrounds, battle rap background, artist, beat making, resume. You know, it's heavy, and your name's been ringing bells since I was young. You know,
they don't know about the battle rap days.
They don't know about that, man. Y'all need to lock in and tap in on that for real, because y'all ain't got no clue. They light years behind.
I was just telling somebody the other day. I was like, yo, did you know I used to walk around the city and just see people and there's something up here, that kind of did. I'd be like, yo, what's up? You battling?
Yeah.
And it'd be in the middle of the street. Like we walking through the neighborhood. I'm like, yo, you battling?
Yeah.
And we would battle. Like it's just
that's the culture.
Yeah.
Man.
So
and line them up.
Yeah.
And we was talking about some stories before we started.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah.
Caught some bodies.
Yeah. That was a fun time. That was my first diss record. You know. I mean, we could talk about that. I don't give a shit. But
it's fun looking back on those times.
Yeah, and it was at the time it was like in Radcliffe, right? I was doing music. It was me, my boy Vo, Gary, and it was really just me and him against everybody for real. Yeah. But he was one of the Gregory, so it was like we kind of held it down.
Mm-hmm.
But me and Vernay, it was a group of friends that he was around that always, I don't know what it was, but it was like they would always want to like fuck me up for some reason because they didn't, because I was like I don't want to be part of your group, none of that. I'm just me.
The rebellious one.
Yeah, I'm just, and they're like, oh, okay, well, and they would always like kind of hint at like, man, we gonna fuck you up one day. Yeah, and I would go to their crib, like I would go to their studio and just sit there and be like, I'm waiting for the moment because because at the time the guys I ran with, it's like, I'm waiting for you to do it because it's gonna be turned into a huge problem for you, right? And but nothing ever happened. But I'm saying that to say, I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to say, like, when I seen that, and I was we had this talent show back when talent shows was a thing.
I remember those days.
Yeah, E-Town, and I remember they was all there, and I was like, they like lining me up. So I'm like, all right. So I leave there, and I go straight to my boy Twins. Cause I was like, man, throwing a beat. He goes through these beats. I hop in his little closet booth. I just laid a record, and it was dissing Renee, right? And it was dissing the shit out of him. And I take the CD, burn it. I go to his crib. What up, man? Yo, put this in. Mm-hmm. He goes, he plays the record, and it's just me dissing him, crazy. And I'm just like, yeah. I was like, what was that?
Hold on, yo. You knocked at the door.
Yeah, I'm in the doorway.
He pulled up.
While he's putting the CD in, he hits play and he's just sitting there. Because you remember like stairs used to be on the floor?
Yeah, yeah.
So he's leaning.
With the speakers?
Yeah. So he is playing, he's listening to it. And I could tell he's just like, what the fuck is happening?
Getting busy too.
Yeah, and I'm just in the doorway like, what you think? And so I leave, he gets mad. But to Renee's credit, he wasn't no slouch either. He threw a record right back at me.
Right back at you.
And he got at me too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think my reputation probably made mine more relevant, but he wasn't no slouch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
sparring.
So we was going back and forth, but at the end of the day, I think it was good for Radcliffe because people paid attention to the music for a second.
It built interest.
Yeah, and it's like if we knew better, like I know now, I'd have went to Renee like, look, this is what we're gonna do.
Monetize that. Yeah.
Listen, bro. Yeah. I'm gonna diss you diss me. Yeah. Let's have a couple go back and forth. Let's make some content.
Factual.
And then we wrap it all up in the end, and all of a sudden we cool, whatever. Yeah. But let's make this profitable to the both of us. And that's the one thing I didn't know back then. But
it's what they do nowadays.
Yeah, but a lot of respect to Renee because, like I said, he wasn't no slouch. He fought back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He put out a bunch of good records after that too. So
yeah, Renee nice, man.
Yeah, and I think he still do music.
But that's a good point. Both of y'all super nice, so then that would have came together brilliantly. Yeah. That's hard. Yeah. So who you got? Tupac or DMX?
For me, it's Tupac.
Word.
Yeah.
Word.
I love DMX, but for me, it's Tupac. One reason is because, I had a friend named Willie. That's one of our big homies, big brothers. Willie from Chicago, and he was a Tupac fanatic. Like you couldn't even say nothing bad about Tupac, or you was gonna have to fight. He was that determined. So
Great Machiavelli.
Yeah. So he would play Tupac all the time, bro, and it's like. I had no choice but to like dive into listening to Tupac, and the more I dug in his catalog, because I knew Tupac from the beginning. I remember when Tupac was making shit like
digital.
When he was Dancer, I knew Tupac then. When he was making the pro-black, like really, really pro-black,
absolutely
music, right?
They got me trapped and all that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And then, so his body of work was really dope. From going from one, I think he was like the first rapper that we ever saw evolve.
Yeah,
into other shit. The acting, activism. Mm-hmm. You never seen no artist at the time go from that to, and not only being in a movie, but you killed it.
Like classic.
You're gonna be a movie star.
Yeah.
And then, right? Never seen that like it. So this is the first time. So I think for me, it's definitely Pac, because even DMX followed in those footsteps a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Right?
That's Pac was to me. Yeah, Pac was to me, between Pac, Cube, and Ice-T, those three were like the ones that we got to see evolve. But Pac was like the one that had like the most influence, if so to speak. You know
a lot of versatility too as far as records.
Yeah, I love Pac. Pac is dope.
That's hard. Timbaland or Scott Storch?
Timbaland, hands
That's
down.
hard. What type of person is that?
Yeah.
Whitney Houston or Toni Braxton?
Whitney Houston, the GOAT.
Well, she was tearing it down, bro. Larry June or Joey Badass?
Larry June. I fuck with Larry June.
I had to ask that one, bro.
I fuck with Larry.
He been consistent.
I just like because he's just nonchalant. He's like, it's my life.
Yeah.
Like it or not.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? I love the laid back.
It's kind of grown man music. Really.
It really is, like, because he talks about a lot of grown man shit. He talks about going on vacation or just cleaning your crib.
Yeah.
Like, who made a record about cleaning your crib, bro?
Right.
And so,
not just the money management. You know what I mean? He goes into detail.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift or Meghan Trainor?
Taylor Swift.
You mean Taylor?
Yeah.
She got the records.
I mean, she's consistently the biggest artist in the world.
She's crazy big.
She's like, when I say that, I mean like factual. That statistically, she's between her and maybe a couple other artists.
Spotify.
Yeah, she's always, every month she's at the #1 spot some sort of way.
That is nuts, bro.
Yeah, so
she's a mega.
She's a mega star. Yeah.
Fat Joe or KRS-One?
KRS-One.
Oh yeah. He came before Fat Joe, right?
Yeah, and I love Fat. I actually know Fat Joe. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Joe, man. Talked a few times.
But yeah, KRS-One is, he called himself the teacher, and I like absorbing knowledge from music, so I prefer to listen to like a KRS-One.
I'm glad you implemented that though, because a lot of people do sleep on KRS-One because of how knowledgeable he is.
Yeah, I feel like you didn't come from that era, you don't get it today.
Yeah,
you be like, what's he talking about?
That's the separation there.
Yeah, but back in the day, like seeing him like just give game on like even like the song like "Love's Gonna Get You," like I was like, damn, like it was a good way to kick a gem to me, like yo, you know what I'm saying? So KRS-One, but I love Fat Joe though. I think Fat Joe is one of the most legendary artists.
Just carrying it on too.
Yeah.
You got knowledge, man. You've been around the big names, big rooms, important meetings, and counting. And so, tell me this. Give me your top 5 producers.
Alchemist is my #1 favorite producer. All right.
I love that. I'm glad you stated that too.
Yeah. Alchemist is my favorite producer. I would say my second favorite producer is probably My third favorite producer is probably gonna be
say Ye at the 2 spot.
Yeah, I say Ye at the 2. Alchemist is my favorite. This is my personal, right?
Yeah.
Alchemist #1, Ye #2. I would say Pharrell is probably 3 for me.
Let's go.
4 would probably be let me see, Tyler the Creator.
Ooh, yeah.
For 4.
That's nice. It's a colorful mix up.
And then the 5th one, I would have to say the Dungeon Family.
Oh,
yeah, I think people don't. People sleep.
Talk heavy about the Dungeon Family, bro.
They changed the whole culture. People don't. They don't get the credit they deserve.
They don't, bro. I'm glad you popping with these names right now, bro, because people don't even understand, bro.
Yeah, and I would say just as a interchangeable 5th, I say like Havoc from my.
I was getting ready to say Havoc, bro.
Havoc. Yeah,
you read my mind, bro. Yeah. Havoc, a lot of people don't even know he produced, but it takes a real hip hop head, bro. That's hard. Who do you think's an underrated artist?
Just anybody today, or just in the industry?
Anybody, like a Big Crit or just a few names, just to throw one out there.
I think underrated. I would say. I
like Willie the Kid.
I would say, as popular as he is, I would say Larry June. I feel like he's underrated. I feel like he's very underrated.
Yeah.
Because to me, he should be bigger. But I also know he's got a niche audience. But I think a lot of people don't know. Like I play him a lot of times when I'm around people. They're like, "Who's that?" And I'm just like, "Damn, you don't know Larry June?" So I think he's underrated. But I think it's also due by design where he's not. He's got what he wants.
He's where his audience is.
Yeah, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel that. I feel like that's what a lot of artists they could take advantage of instead of focus on so much of the numbers, but providing the service for their people. You know what I mean? Like knowing who you're talking to.
Yeah. Think.
I like 38 Special.
I love 38 Special. Yeah, 38 Special is like.
I love them guys. You know what I mean?
I do too. Yeah, I love Benny the Butcher, all of them guys.
Yeah.
But I think 38 Special is very, he's very underrated because I feel like he makes the greatest hustler music.
Absolutely.
He's like the super simple, straight to the point hustler shit. You know what I mean?
Factual.
Like for real. So
we
it's like,
needed that too.
Yeah, and I know it comes from an authentic place. You know what I mean? So
shout out to Buffalo,
Special. Yeah, shout out to Special.
Yeah. So you've been seeing these recent artist lists, right? We don't know who's making them.
Yeah.
How you feel about it?
I don't care about that shit. I don't look at that shit. I don't look at that shit at all.
There's so many of them. It's like,
and I don't knock it. It's somebody's opinion. I don't hold it over, no weight over it because it's like it's somebody's opinion. You know, that's like saying I like tacos and everybody getting in an uproar. Like, what the fuck? You only like tacos? You don't like steak? It's like, how the fuck does it matter? It's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I think what happens is when people make these lists, they try to put them out as like, this is the list. No, that's your opinion. I don't care if you're a company or a person. That's just an opinion.
Nothing's official.
Nothing is official. There's no way to. If you want to, the only way I look at seeing who's the best, and this, that, and the third is I look at data. I just go off the data. The vibe shit is cool. I might have my special likes because I like the vibe, but
you in my top.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like the data. That's how I choose. But I think the lists are cool though because it creates conversation, and it ain't nothing wrong with it. It's fun, man. People be getting. Out of control.
It's funny though, isn't it? It's like, interesting. Damn,
bro, it's bothering you man. Like, all right.
Getting tight, man.
Yeah, but it's cool. I think it's cool. I don't pay attention to it though. I'm gonna tell you something funny.
Word.
My boy Slick has the Kentucky Entertainment Urban Awards, right?
Shout out to Slick.
Man. He's been doing this for almost 20 years.
It's been that long too.
Yeah. It's been for almost 20 years. Yeah. So now think about this. I've been who I've been for 30 years in this game, right? For like
highly respected
for like
and connected
for like 18 years. I was on every year. I was nominated every year. Never won nothing though. Never tripped out about it. I just whatever. You know what I'm saying? I never tripped out. And then I finally got an award. And it was cool. But so I'm saying it to say like
word.
I don't be tripping. Man.
Cool, collective.
Yeah, I don't be. It's not that big of a deal.
But I think that's always taking you far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the level-headedness and the poise.
Right.
Man, to me, that makes a good businessman too.
Yeah.
So iPhone and Android. I think I know what you're rocking with.
I was Android. I was diehard Android. I was like the kid that was like, fuck Apple, man.
We heard
Apple.
this movie before.
Yeah, and then what happened was
what happened
was I was super team Android, bro. I was like Google One phone and all. I'm like, man, like fuck Apple, man. Like Android is where it's at.
Yeah.
Then one day at work, I discovered what an iPod was, and I could watch movies on it. So I'm at work with my little iPod. They don't know what the iPod is. I'm watching movies the whole time, like, and so I was like, that ain't too bad of a product. Then I was like, I guess I'll try iPhone. Been iPhone ever since.
Man, never turn back. You heard?
Now I've turned on all Android users. Now I'm like, Android sucks.
We neglect these people.
Yeah, so I go in on Android, but. To each his own, but I think for current state of media and creator vibes and things like that, an iPhone is better. It's more equipped to handle creating, content, things like that. So
it's very useful.
Yeah, but it's always been Mac has always been that. Like
I feel you.
You always wanted to get a Mac in the studio.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
that's always been the upper level.
Yeah. So
that's tough. Averex jackets or North Face?
Damn,
bubble coats.
That's actually a hard one.
That's a petty one, isn't it?
I'd say Averex only because I was sponsored by Averex. I was like sponsored by them for a while.
Shout out to Averex for dropping the chicken.
Yeah, when I lived in New York, I was with this dude named Harley. He ended up putting us in a position where we were sponsored by Averex. So I used to be able to go to Manhattan, go to the Averex store, the main store, and the company's owned by two Jewish people, a Jewish guy and his wife. Super old. And they would be like, yo, when you're in town, go to the store, you can get whatever you want. Just go in there, call us, and we'll call them, and that's what they did. So we would go, we would call them, and then they were like, yeah, let them get whatever they want. Dog. I used to,
all those jackets?
Bro, I used to go in there and look at all the jackets. They had an upstairs floor, right? It's like a hidden room. And I went up there, and that's where they had all the bomber jackets with the fur. Right? So they had
hard body.
They had a Tuskegee Airman jacket, so I grabbed that. Grab the whole outfit, grab the shoes, everything. So they used to lace us up. So I would say Averex.
They had it with the Timbs too. I already know that.
Well, they had Averex Tim. They had their own boots. So I had Averex boots. I was Averex head to toe. So, yeah, we had that situation. So I would say Averex.
Yeah, that's hard, bro.
Yeah, but I love North Face.
That was a good question, huh?
Yeah. Now North Face, if you in the freezing cold in New York, you want a North Face. Not
you need one of them bubble coats.
Yeah,
they're bigger, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the Averex is a little more stylish.
There's more style, North Face is gonna be better.
That's hard. 8Ball and MJG or Redman and Method Man?
Damn, that's a hard one too.
That's disrespectful, with it.
No. I think it's a great comparison. I would say Meth and Red only because I grew up with 8Ball and MJG, but
shout out to the Fat Man.
But when I was in my space of like really loving music and artists, it was Red and Meth.
Man, they were so colorful, bro. Like animated and just loud. You know what I mean? And bars. Like,
yeah, my bad. It's my daughter.
I'm not gonna hold you on that. That's crazy. Yeah. So many joints, man. What's your favorite album they dropped? Or even a solo joint?
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy right now. What I've been just playing on repeat is the clip "So Be It."
Yes.
The video is crazy. I love the video.
The new joint?
Yeah, have you seen it?
Yes.
So Be It. Yeah,
yes.
The black and white joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just fire.
It is hard,
bro.
Malice is tough.
Yeah, you know what's crazy, bro? I don't really listen to albums like that no more. I'm still listening to Illmatic. Like I still listen to Illmatic every day.
Sound like me.
Yeah, it's like new stuff. I'll catch like singles, which I mean that's what they put out a lot anyway. But
yeah,
I haven't really dived into an album per se.
It's tough to do that.
Yeah, the only albums I was diving into was like Ye's. Every time because I'm interested in this production scene where he's going next.
It's gonna be a movie every time.
Yeah, so that's the only thing where I would listen like track after track, the whole project. But outside of that, not really.
That's a good point. We're in the singles era mainly.
Yeah, 100%.
I think Boss Man D-Lo was like, man, yo, my songs don't go over 2 minutes.
Nah, and that's
2.5.
Yeah, that's how the consumers behave today. You know what I'm
saying? Jagged Edge or Jodeci?
Jodeci. Jagged Edge is fire, but Jodeci is like, man, you know how many kids was born because of Jodeci?
I'm telling
like,
you, bro.
Jagged Edge too, but Jodeci was like, you know what I mean?
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I feel like Jagged Edge was the dope college student singers, and Jodeci was like the niggas from the ghetto.
Is it two different eras? Almost, huh?
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost. But they're definitely two different, I think, environments. I could be wrong, but that's just how it felt to me. Maybe because Jodeci always wore black. And Jagged Edge was like one. They would wear sweats and a headband. You know what I'm saying?
I know they concerts were intense, bro.
Oh yeah.
They was tearing the stage down back in the day. So Marzz, the artist.
Yeah. She's
nice, bro.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, she's dope.
Break down your involvement behind her and what role you play in her career.
So my bad. Let me do this.
Oh, you good, bro? I done forgot my drink over there.
What was the question?
Marzz.
Oh yeah, so I actually discovered Marzz so she DM'd me like a long time ago. That's when I was working with Blazing real heavy. She DM'd me. Yeah, shout out to Blazing.
He's real dope too.
Yeah, he got some new music coming out too.
Yeah.
But Marzz DM'd me. She was like, "Yo, I become an artist. I'll take it serious. I just want to try and find somebody to work with. I would love to talk to you about it." Da, da, da. And I went and listened to her. I was like, "Damn, she's dope." And then I was like, "Yo, did you write that?" And she was like, "Yeah." And at that time, I knew how important writing was. I was like, "Oh, if you wrote that, then that's special." You know what I'm saying? And
so
then,
she got that pen too.
Yeah. So we ended up working together. I named her Marzz. Like she had a whole different name.
That's tough.
I changed. I was like, "Yo, you gotta change that."
I love that Marzz.
Like call yourself Marzz or something. You know? So she was like, "Bet."
Yeah.
So we do that. But then what had happened was that she had some other people in her circle that I wasn't too fond of. That was just in the way, really. Didn't really put her first. They was trying to put themselves first. So I couldn't really get past that. So I was like, look, man, until I really can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
You could tell they was trying to eat off of them or what?
Yeah, it was like, and not all of them, is particularly like one or two of them that was they just wouldn't get out the way. And I'm like, bro, like you got to get out the way. You fucking everything up.
You seen the vision.
You hurting your own chances. You know what I'm saying? So, So I ended up not working with her for a period of time. She got with another dude. That didn't work out. And then out of nowhere, like maybe 4 or 5 months later, I remember when she ended up working with this other dude. It just broke my heart because I wanted to work with her so bad. And I knew who the other guy was. And, I'm not going to say his name, but he just wasn't the guy that nobody was really fond of him in his business, right? So she was in a bad situation. Helped her get out of that. So when she hit me and was like, yo, like 5, 6 months later, she hit me and was like, yo, can I call you? And on Everything I Love, man, I remember driving, I pulled over. And this is shortly after me and Blasian when we split up. And for the record, like, a lot of people don't know, and I just found this out this year. The situation with me and Blasian, he got in some legal trouble, and we ended up going our separate ways.
Word.
But like, I didn't like quit on him. Right. You know what I mean? He was actually like, look, bro, I think I want to move in a different direction. Okay. With respectfully, he called me and respectfully like, hey, bro, and because he was in a crazy situation, and I probably was too much of the guy that was like, you can't do that, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he was like, look, man, it might have been too much. And he was like, I just want to go a separate way. Cool, we went our separate ways, but there's always been love.
That's cool that he was mature enough to.
He's always love. And about a week after that, because I'm like, damn, I quit my job to do this, so I'm just thinking like I'm gonna have to go back to work or what. A week later, Marzz hits me up, and on Everything I Love, I'm driving, I pull over, and I was like, man, and this is exactly what I said to myself. I said, one or two things is real. I said, God is either real, one or two things is real, or both is real. I said, God is either really real, and or this whole shit is a game, and I'm somewhere writing the script, and I'm just watching the movie play out. And because I was like, I know what's about to happen. She's about to hit me up and ask me to help her, and I'm about to be put back in her life, and we're about to go crazy. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
You could feel the spiritual and the energy sense.
And that's exactly what happened. She said, bro, I need help. I'm in a bad situation. Can you help me get out? I said, hell yeah. I was like, because you gotta understand, I just went from Blasian to I don't have nothing, to now this falls in my lap.
And as and to reiterate, you knew what was on the other side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think 2 months after that conversation, she was signed to RCA.
That's hard.
Did a crazy 6-figure deal. Yeah. Well, no, it's actually a 7-figure deal. You know what I'm saying? And it was opportunity. It was a course over 3 projects. Now that it didn't fully mature that way, but I'm just saying, like being in a position, going from one situation that kind of fell out of my hands, I dropped the ball on, to one where now you're talking about 7 figures. It's like, damn.
Life changing.
Yeah, it's like, oh man. You know what I'm saying?
Straight to the chicken.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I'm a millionaire, because I'm not. Neither one of us are. But that's what that deal was.
I love the storyline and the transformation. And how one door looked like it was going to possibly close, but you always kept the faith and the confidence in the scenario. You know what I mean? You
just have to.
You believed in it.
Yeah, and you have to. I don't know how to say this to people. I mean, besides bluntly, but you have to believe. If you have any doubt, you are done. You cooked. You're done. Like bro. If you have any moment of doubt, and for me, that was the thing. I just believed in the shit so hard. It was almost rebellious. A part of my belief was me being rebellious. I was like, man, fuck you.
You kind of like me, man.
Yeah, I was
they say it takes half crazy.
Yeah, it does. That's true. Because you have to. Yeah. Because everybody's against you.
Yeah, everything's against
everything. You. Not even people, just everything. Yeah, like, oh, you want to be a star? Nah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I remember working at Humana one time, and they made us stay after overtime. I was pissed. My team lead, his name is Chris Hudson. He leaned over. He was like, I was like, man, one of these days, bro. Because I'm like, bro, you making me stay overtime. Like, that's when Humana can make you stay that day. They can tell, hey, you ain't leaving at 4. You leaving at 7 today.
That's how they do you.
Right? They used to do that. So
just off the rip.
Yeah. So I was like tight one time. He was like, I said, man, one of these days. And he leans into my, right here, mind you, my boy sitting next to me. He leans into me and goes, what? You gonna be a rock star? Because he knew I did music. And I was like, all right. Like, it's cool. Like, I'm gonna show you though. Yeah. And so my rebelliousness comes from shit like that, where I'm gonna keep going until I prove you wrong. And when I prove, and what always happens is when I get to a point of success, and I'm at that point where I can not point the finger. I don't even point the finger. I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? I got what I want. I'm cool.
Bet.
But
you know what I mean?
yeah, but my rebelliousness is what kind of kept me motivated too. And that's what kept me at it. That's why I believed in it so much. You know what I mean? I feel like I was forced to believe.
It is. The universe forces you. Right?
So
and you know, it's like those unforgettable moments that people say certain things to you. The underlying, what do you call it? Underlying comments. It's not really a comment. It's kind of like, what you think you got?
I wrote it down when he walked away, bro. I put out a piece of paper and I wrote down. I said, I give myself 5 years to get the fuck out of here and never come back. And I'm gonna do music for the rest of my life. That's exactly what happened. And the nigga next to it's my man. He's all love, but I remember when that happened, he started laughing at me, and you know, I just like, okay, bro, I'm gonna show you too. And I did.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? And it's
like fuel to the fire.
So
I love that, bro. Are you hearing this, people?
You got to stay motivated, man.
I'm telling you, man. You can speak it into fruition.
Yeah, you really can.
It's a manifestation that really exists, bro. So how you feel the old school hip hop compared to the modern day internet algorithm streaming world? How you feel about the growth and the evolution of the game? You know what I mean?
I think it's dope. You know, I mean, it's, everything got its ups and downs. You feel me?
Yeah.
But you know, like the algorithm has always been there, though. Like,
True.
It's always been there. We've never not had an algorithm. Now, one version is on computers, but another one is word of mouth. Another one is people, right?
Yeah.
So we've always had this system. It's nothing has changed, bro. Just the technology, the methods of what you use has changed. Everything else is exactly the same.
It's different form, right?
Like if you don't know shit about music business, go listen to Jay-Z's Crack Game.
Yeah.
He breaks down the music business in reference to selling crack, right?
Yeah.
If you listen to what he's saying,
one of the dopest records ever existed.
If you go listen to what he's saying, it's exactly what you do today. It's the same process.
Yeah. Ignorant.
It's the same exact process. And he said this in 95, you know what I mean? Whatever. So I think the technology has evolved. I think shit has gotten easier, which is a gift and a curse. But I think it's in a great space. It's way more easier for artists to make money today. I don't know why they don't believe that. There's a whole huge narrative of people saying there ain't no money in music. That's a fucking lie. You just don't know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And so for you, there might not be no money in music. I know the opposite story of some guys I know that nobody knows is making 10, 15 grand a month off streaming.
Right.
Just a music streaming, right? Yeah. Getting brand deals. My boy Norman just did a brand deal with Dawn Dish Soap. Paid him $30K to do a piece of content.
Talk heavy.
So you can't tell me there's no money in music. You know what I mean? So
that's why I like stuff like the Producer's Corner when you first started, when you first formed that and created that. That was brilliant because what it did is let people know, like, look, I got the knowledge behind this. You know what I mean? I've been in the game. I know some of the ins and outs. I know some strategic skills and tools that you all could use to make it more effective for you.
Yeah. And the Producer Corner actually started, I'm gonna keep it real. The Producer Corner started because I was fucking irritated. Because I had got so popular in Louisville in terms of like being the guy, like I was like the quality control guy. You know, if somebody be like, somebody want to work with a videographer, they'll come to me like, yo, Woo, man, does he do good business? Because I worked with everybody and I was always honest. Right. So people would come and be like, man, is he gonna show up for this session? I'm like, yeah, he's good, bro. Or if he wasn't, I'm like, man, go ahead and like call him 2-3 days.
Because 99% of the time you're gonna know that person that you're trying to connect with.
So, you know, I became that guy. Everybody would come to me, yo, Woo, who does graphic arts? Yo, Woo, what studio should I? And it was like, yo, man, we all live in the same city. How come y'all don't know each other? And so I would be like, how about, come to the studio and just meet each other. And the first time I did it, it was like 5 people maybe. Then the next one was like 15, and I thought I had won the lottery with 15 people in there.
Building
and then from there, it just kept. Then I remember after the 15, went back down to like 2 people. I was like, shit, what happened? And it was a trial. It was just keep trying, and then it became this thing where everybody started coming all the time. And then it went from like steady 50 people. Then it'd be 100. Then it was like the big one was like 200. You know what I'm saying? So
build up.
Yeah. So it started, and it was good because it got to inject a lot of knowledge. I think without it, a lot of people would be a little bit even more behind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because some took the knowledge and ran with it, some didn't. But for the ones that ran with it, they probably would have never got that information.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So.
And the way you the way you could orchestrate it, you know what I mean, and the way you articulated it was correct and professional. You know what I mean, because the constructive criticism, you know, what I mean, the way you develop it, the way you deliver it was right, man. So so what makes you want to work with somebody else, business wise?
Man, I just love music. So for me, and you know, and shout out to my brother Kelly. You know, rest in peace to Kelly.
God bless. Shout out to Kel.
Shout out to Johnny. Shout out to Sean.
Shout out to the squad.
Shout out to Tyron. But that was like my first real group back in the day, when like in the '90s.
Slaughterhouse days?
No. This is we was called Affiliation. It was me, Kelly, Sean, White Boy Sean, and Tyron's brother and Johnny. We was like the illest group in Hardin County.
That's what I heard all the time.
We was the illest group. One, because I had a studio, which my boy Twin would let us record at his spot. So we was getting a real, you know, at the time what we thought was professional, which it was for what we had. So boom, we getting real recordings. I was pressing up the CDs. I was getting labels. I was stamping the CDs, and then I would go pick up like Sean, or I would go pick up like Johnny and Kelly from school. Yeah. You know, because I'm like a year old, so I'm graduated. I pull up in Nate's parking lot. Come on, man, let's go. We're gonna go make some music. We're gonna go sell some CDs. We're gonna go to the mall and hand these CDs out. So we was grinding, and you know, I think for me, I always had a passion to work with some people and then see it work. I'm infatuated with seeing stuff work.
Process.
Yeah, I'm infatuated with like, all right, I think if we do this, we can do this. And when it works, I get excited. I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's just artists is like, if I see a dope artist that's talented and one that deserves to win, I want to support that, because I was supported that way. If there's a handful of people in my life that was like, I believe in what you're doing, bro. Here's the keys to my crib. Use my studio anytime you want. So, you know, so shout out to like my boy Will Holder. Shout out to my boy Twin. Shout out to my boy Eric Ramos. Shout out to George Slaughter.
Shout out to everybody.
It's some more that I ain't naming, but that I'm forgetting. But yeah, shout out to them guys.
So some of that same stuff is just stuck with you, man.
Yeah, 100%.
It's hard. So who you think's killing it right now? Like an absolute beast as an artist. Has got everything. You know, they got on every level, the stage presence, they got the delivery, the fan engagement, they got the good music, the records. Who you feel is one that's tearing it up right now?
I think an artist named Norman Sand.
Okay, word.
He's like, to me, and I tell him this all the time, but I'm like, bro, you're like the poster child of everything right that an artist would do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's fully independent. He's one of the guys that I'm saying is making the 10, 12.
So he's taking advantage of that.
Consistency is on point. His content quality is on point. He knows the intention. He knows who his audiences is. Right. He knows what they want to see. Yeah. He makes what they want to see. And he just kills it, man.
Yeah, shout out to Norman, man. You know, I got to tap into that.
He produces all his own records. He records a bunch of songs live on TikTok with the audience. Yeah. He's just an engagement master. Yeah, that's hard, and it's paying off. He's making money.
That's dope, bro. So that's hard. Shout out to him, man. I got to check out some of that. Believe that.
Shout out to Norman Sam.
Who you got? Cassidy or Fab?
I think Fab is more put together, but Cassidy is rhyme.
Cassidy's bro. I had to throw his name out there.
Like, Fabulous, I think if you said they got a battle, Cassidy's gonna eat them all day. But if you say you gotta make a record, Fabulous is gonna eat them all day.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
There's levels.
Yeah, so it just depends. But if I had to choose based off nothing, I would probably say I would probably listen to Cassidy, because I'm just more, I like the bars. Yeah. And I'll take a horrible beat with a dope rhyme over a dope record.
Yeah. Cassidy's a bar master.
Yeah, he's a bar master. So it's like just seeing that and hearing that is what I like. You know what I'm saying? But Fab is dope too.
That's a good point. I feel like Cassidy he crept in both of them lanes. That's how he got rich.
He did, but it's like, you know, Fab he can make you a record today.
Fab different.
Yeah. Cassidy's gonna go try to rip somebody's head off. Yeah. Even on like a love record, he's gonna try to talk some shit. Yeah,
so, right. You know what I mean? He battled himself.
Yeah. It's like, all right, bro.
He got Big Chicken to battle the last few years. You know what I mean? So, who I got? That's another petty one. Janae Aiko or Summer Walker.
Janae Aiko. That's only because if I don't say that, Marzz will kill me.
Marzz?
Marzz loves her. So if I say anything different, she's gonna be side eyeing me.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, I think Janae, because, you know, I mean, Summer Walker's dope too, but she's still kind of new to me. I think Janae put in a lot more.
Yeah, she is a little more fresh.
Yeah.
Shout out to Maddie B too, bro.
Yeah, shout out to Maddie B.
They remind me of her for some reason.
Yeah.
So, bro, this stuff takes a lot of work. So for the delusional ones who think success is overnight, how much the work, investments, etc. It takes a little minute to break to break through sometimes. You know what I mean? So here's the thing. Like, some will argue we don't need to sign the labels anymore due to the independency and accessibility. What's your thoughts on that? Because there's different types of deals that you can set for yourself.
Here's
right?
the truth. Here's the truth of it. Nobody wants to say that I said though.
Talk heavy.
9 out of 10 of them niggas is me even making those comparisons or making those claims ain't made $1 in music. I'm not trying to hear shit they got to say. You know, it takes a lot of work to do this shit, but it's not hard work. It's just tedious. There's a right way to do something and a wrong way. You can make moving a chair hard. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I say, yo, move this chair from here to here, and you pick it up with one arm and try to hold it over your head, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? And then you're like, my back hurts and this is heavy. But yeah, if you hold it this other way, right? But a lot of people don't want to listen, right? So, but
a lot of it's pride and ego. They don't want to listen.
I think it's a lot of it is pride and ego, and I think that everybody thinks that they know the answer, and I think that our culture does something terrible, not terrible, but I think it's just a wrong way to do. But we train our youth to like be the one. We're like, you got to be the best in class, and that's cool. But what you kind of do is you kind of alienate people from building a community, and then to make it in music, you have to have a community. So we're not driven to think community.
Yeah.
Right. We're driven to think me.
Good point.
Right. We're not thinking community. So you don't go out to build a community or bring a community to your music. You trying to make a hit record and blow up because it's me.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, you know, when people say that shit, I don't listen to them if they haven't done nothing that can validate what they're suggesting.
Why would
saying.
you?
Yeah, because everybody will make the argument like, man, you know, they'll say shit like, I ain't no money in me, or whatever. They'll have these opinions. It's like, how much money have you made?
Right.
Then why do you got the fucking opinion for it?
Exactly.
I can't fucking go into a hospital and be like, yo, brain surgeon dude, hey, listen, take that scalpel, cut over there instead. Trust me, seen this on YouTube. Cut over there instead, and everything should be fine. And you gonna go to jail. You see what I'm saying? But in music, it's like, I'm gonna drop this record tomorrow. It's gonna blow up. And Say Jesus gonna post it, and then after that, Jay-Z's gonna see it. He's gonna hit me up and sign me. That's people think that way, and it's like it's just the stupidest shit ever.
You think a lot of it's culture driven because, like you said, there's this smoke and mirrors there. That everybody feel like they need to be the man, but really, the '96 Bulls wasn't built like that.
Nah, no champions are. Nobody who wins this shit did it themselves and focus on only them. Yeah, no, that's not how it works.
It's a team. Like even Dame Dash will tell you. You know what I'm saying? People like that. So let's get to business, bro. So here's the thing. What's your favorite Louisville event to attend?
My favorite Louisville event now is going to be Hip Hop in the Park, hosted by Vashti. She's got a new event that she's dropping, I think, like twice a year. Nice. Back by the City. It's the first ever Back by the City free music event, and it's being ran by somebody who's super in touch with the culture. So if y'all want an event to be at, she's doing another one in a couple weeks, I think, called Hip Hop in the Park, I think. And but her name is Vashti. Look her up, get all the info. It's a great place to be. Vashti. Yeah, she's super supportive of local independent music culture.
Nice. I like the positivity behind that. Shout out to her and everybody doing their thing. So, new studio alert though. Yeah, you gotta fill them in on that, fam. Tell them what you popping with, what you got popping off, and where they can find it.
Yeah, so I got a new. Well, it's new to the public. I've had it for about 3 years. It was like my personal space. I had another studio called Soundbase Studios that I was using, but we actually moved that location to where I'm at now. So I got 2 rooms renovating. Shout out to my boy Will, Rich Lane, who's helping the renovations. And we're gonna open it to the public and make it somewhere that's, you know, I've been in big city studios. I've been in LA, New York, all over. And there's something about studio culture in other big cities that we don't have. And so I'm just trying to bring that here. So for example, when you come to my studio, when you book time, you're going to book online. You don't have to call nobody. You just book online. There's a schedule. You know who's available. You see your engineer. You can book them. And they're there,
it's
right?
easy, accessible. Yeah,
you pay online. You literally just show up and do your thing, right?
Yeah.
The other thing to that is that for certain clients who booked a lot, we're going to provide you a runner. Meaning if you're in the studio, you get hungry, or let's say you smoke, hey, I ain't got no woods or whatever.
Yeah.
Our runner go get everything for you.
That's hard.
You know what I'm saying? You don't got to leave your space.
Man,
They'll
that's
take it.
convenient.
Yeah, exactly. So we doing things like that. I'm doing events at the studio, cook-up events, working with certain artists, and trying to integrate producers and artists again. So that'll be done, I say, in about another 2 months.
Okay.
And we'll be up and running.
Stay locked in, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna introduce a new like mic series myself for here, and I'm gonna push it. And just building a platform. But the studio, about 2 months away, new sound-based location. Everybody will know. We'll announce it to everybody.
That's hard, bro. Man, hey, make sure y'all pull up, man, and be on the lookout for it once it drops. So, let's get to business. Here we go. Discipline or motivation? Which one you feel is more important?
Discipline. Mm-hmm. Like discipline is there when motivation ain't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'd rather have discipline. It's like the loyalty question. Like they say, what is it? Loyalty or integrity?
Loyalty
somebody asked
integrity?
me. Yeah. I think integrity is there when loyalty ain't. So I would choose integrity, right? Because like I don't gotta like you. I don't have to be loyal to you, but I don't have to.
Respect things.
I don't have to kick you in the head while you're down too.
Right.
So integrity, yeah. But anyway.
Hard. Chicken wings. Drums or the flats?
The flats. I'm a
flat squad.
Yeah. I'm a Virgo, so I don't even know if that makes sense, but I'm a Virgo. Flats.
We got another one.
Yeah.
So who you rocking? Did you ever get to meet Static Major?
Oh yeah, I work with Static. Yeah, that's fine.
I never did, man. Man, God bless, bro. Shout out to Static, bro. He's a legend.
I worked with
that legend.
I worked with Static through my boy Native. Native introduced me to Static.
Hard.
I was doing beats for Native, and Native is a legendary Louisville artist too, but he's about to come out with some new shit. But I was doing a bunch of shit with Native, and one day he was like, "Yo, Static wants you to come to the studio."
That's tough.
And I was like, "What?" So I had never knew how to track out beats on Pro Tools. This is back when Pro Tools was a new thing. I didn't know how he was like, Static was like, "Yo, bring the stems to the beat." And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about, bro.
Stems?
That's back when I would record the beat and thought that's all you had to do.
You showed me what I was to do on here.
Yeah, it's like recording a 2-track. I thought that's the mix. Like, what are you talking about? And so he's like, "No, bro, you got to bring the track outs to the beat." I was like, "Man, I don't know what he's talking about." So I remember sitting in the studio. The session was at like 10 in the morning. I remember sitting in the studio at like maybe 7 p.m. that night before, and and up until like 6 a.m. Because you got to think, this is like 2000, 2001. There are no manuals. Like, we not reading manuals to do shit. I sat there and I was just literally plugging shit in and out, hitting buttons, trying shit. Yeah. And you got to think, there's no internet. Nothing to reference off of.
This is before even Mass G's.
Yeah, so I'm just hoping some weird thing works. When I say I don't know what I'm doing, I literally mean, I'm like, I don't know where this chord goes, but I guess I'll just stick it here. And then I guess I'll put this one over here. Let me turn this. This seems like it makes sense. And for all night. And then like by like 5 a.m., it worked. I was like, oh shit. So I tracked out the beat and I rushed down to the studio, and only to get there and be like, yeah, well, you ain't gonna be able to come in this one. I was like, shit. You know what I'm saying? But
cooked up all that, that magic.
But I learned a lot, and from there I got to meet Static. I was in the studio with him a bunch. So yeah, Static Major was a huge inspiration. He was one of the first guys that I looked up to that he was like, "Yo, man, your shit is dope."
Yeah.
I was like, "Damn,
that's one of those names."
Yeah, I was like, Static Major told me my shit was fire.
He said, "Yo, Static was like, your shit's fire."
Yeah, he was like, "You need to come to the studio." I was like, "Bet."
That's tough, bro. I don't think people realize I had to bring his name up. Like, bro, he's legend. We talking about writing.
He's the GOAT. Yeah. Like, people don't realize how much Louisville DNA is in the music business. From Static. Yeah. You know, Static wrote for Aaliyah. How many people do you think Aaliyah's inspired?
Aaliyah,
right? Bro. So, and he wrote the big records. He wrote Pony. He wrote Rock the Boat. He wrote all these huge records. So that's Louisville writing. That's Louisville environment. That's Louisville whatever.
Talent.
Then you fast forward to like KY Engineering. KY is one who mixed like Meek Mill's Dreams and Nightmares. He did.
I didn't know that.
He did a lot of Lil Wayne Carter albums. He's 2 Chainz. He mixes all 2 Chainz. All the Larry June 2 Chainz album. He just mixed that whole thing. Yeah. So Waka Flocka, Hard in the Paint. That song sonically changed the landscape of hip hop.
That was a record.
Yeah, that was KY's mix. So you gotta think that's his mix, and he didn't mix it to he mixed it what he felt was right. So that sound and how shit was mixed came from somebody from
Louisville
Kentucky.
sauce.
Yeah, he's from Lex, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's the KY.
Yeah, it came from here. Yeah. So, we have a lot of DNA in the music business, and I think sometimes. So I tell a lot of young artists, when you out of town and you walking in the rooms, man, you go on that shit with some pride and like not ego, but going there with some, you know what I mean? Like, man, like I'm from Louisville, bro.
Proud to say that.
Yeah, I'm from home to Static Major, because that's what Atlanta niggas do.
Yeah.
Man, I'm home from where Jeezy's from, where Outkast is from, and they can say that,
right?
And it means something. You know what I mean?
That's a good point, because I think for a long time that was the kind of energy with Louisville or Kentucky was in between. Like, you know, they don't have people question like, do they have their own sound? Are we in between this sound and that sound? Because you know, it's the mid of everything. Yeah, we're kind of in the middle. Yeah, we're a melting pot, but I think that's a good thing because we get bombarded with so many influences and different styles that we can make it our own. You know what I'm saying? So, little gumbo. Yeah,
but shout out to Static Major though.
Shout out to Static, bro. People gotta recognize that. So hotel or Airbnb?
Airbnb every time. No, let me take that back. The good Airbnbs.
The good ones.
not the shithole Airbnbs. Because I've been in a few of those. Ones? Man, listen, like bro. Me and Blazing and Buku went to New York one time just on a whim. We had to be there for a meeting or something.
Yeah.
I get a last minute Airbnb. We arrive at like 2 in the morning. It's a hole in the wall. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm trying to go to bed. We got beds. We cool.
Sleep.
It's downstairs on the bottom level of the house. It's pitch black when you turn the lights off. I'm sitting there talking, and I remember I was like, yo, man, something just ran past the door. And we tired, right? So I'm like, maybe I'm tripping. So Buku's like sitting there, he's like, yeah, for real? And so when Blasian comes in the room, he's like, yo, Blasian, like, man, I think I saw a rat. Yo. And he was sitting there, he goes, oh, I just seen it. And I was like, look, I ain't seen nothing. So I'm like, stop fucking with me, bro. He's like, no, I was like, stop fucking with me. So we go to the corner store, the bodega, right? Because in New York, they open 24 hours. They happen to have mouse traps, like the sticky joints.
Yeah.
So I get it. So just to be safe. It's like, I don't think. Just to be safe. I get it.
About New York rats.
Yeah. So yeah. So I put it on the floor. We go to bed.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm knocked out. About an hour and a half goes by. I just hear all this rustling. I open my eyes. It's pitch black. I'm like, I grab my phone. I turn on a flashlight. On the trap is a gigantic rat stuck trying to get because it's the sticky trap. It's like this big. The rat,
like a regular mouse trap.
No, the sticky joint.
The black sticky.
When you fold it out, right? It's like this big.
Yeah.
The rat was on both sides. He was that big. He was like, and then
sticky pad.
Yeah, and then he starts getting off the trap. I was like,
a monster rat.
I was like, what the fuck? So we all in the room like, yo, bugging. So I grab a broom and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I'm just like kind of holding it down because he's getting off. He's like got a leg off. He gets another leg. I'm like,
giant rat. He's getting
like this New York rat is about to fuck us up.
Gangster.
Like he's not. I feel like he was gonna get off the fucking trap, not run, and be like, yo, you did this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, so I did the best. I took the trap and I took the broomstick and I was able to like fold it on top of him, like sandwich him a little bit.
Yeah.
That didn't help. He starts getting out of that. So the only thing I could do was stomp him.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have to do it.
You had ended it.
Yeah. So I put all 200 pounds on him.
You had to do it.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, like when I stomped him, his legs and tail shot out the trap, and he started doing making that, and his shit was just. I was like, that's fucked up. But
yo, them New York rats is different.
Yeah, I was like, you gotta go though, bro. So killed it. I told the owner, and he was like, the owner thought I brought the rat. He was like, I think you brought the rat. So I was like, I said, hey, bro.
That's crazy.
I sent him the video. I said, if you don't refund me my money right now, 4 in the morning, you don't give me my money right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna let everybody know this address is rat.
Most reviews of all time.
Sent me my money, and luckily, just God, we don't have nowhere to go. I just happened to see my boy up, and I know he be in New York all the time. I called him to say, yo, bro, do you know anywhere we could stay?
Yeah.
He happened to be right up the street.
Bro,
like,
that's the higher power.
He's like, come stay with me. I was like, bet. So it was good.
Got your paper back, everything.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy. That's like, that reminds me of the episode of Martin. When that was like a little critter.
A little critter, yeah. That's what it was like, man.
They was going to town with that thing.
Yeah.
That's funny, bro. Coffee or cat?
Coffee or what?
Cappuccino.
Oh, coffee. I'm a coffee guy.
We just had one, yeah.
Yeah. We had cappuccino, but I'm a coffee guy.
Yeah. That was pretty good, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty good, yeah.
Radio or podcast?
Podcast, for sure. Yeah.
My dog.
It's I'm an information guy.
Yeah. Early or late flights?
Late, preferably. Overnight shit. So
you want to sleep on the plane?
I can't never sleep on the plane. I don't know why. I've stayed up for like a day and a half and still couldn't. I was just mad.
You listen to music, so?
Yeah, I do listen to live music. Sometimes I'll make beats on the plane.
Oh, that's hard, bro.
Yeah.
All right, so listen to this. One gotta go. Amazon shopping, like online shopping, or tacos?
Oh, tacos. I'm not a taco guy. I'm gonna shop on Amazon before I eat a taco.
Yeah. This is a petty one though. Curveball question, kind of. What's the wildest, most bizarre thing you've seen at a show or a club performance?
I seen the wildest thing.
There's some crazy stuff out there.
I ain't seen nothing crazy, to be honest. I'd say the craziest thing I've ever seen was
Somebody fell off stage.
no. I mean, this ain't even crazy though. But this is the craziest thing I've seen. I remember when 3 6 Mafia went to perform at a venue in Louisville, and this is back when they banned Tear the Club Up. They was like, you can't perform that record.
Yeah.
The first thing they did was perform that record. Like, fuck you, and they tore the house down. I remember people like tearing the club up.
Bro, when them records used to come on back,
That's what people don't know. Like,
it was different. Bro.
Like y'all think y'all turned up. Like the reason why y'all turned up is because how we turned up.
Yeah.
We was really like, you know, I had friends like when Tear the Club Up came on. I remember they would get on the pool table, jump, grab the lights, rip the lights down.
Literally, this was happening.
They were tearing the club up, and you gotta understand, like that song was banned in the whole country. They was like, no venue was like, you cannot play that. No DJ, you can't play that record.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna fuck my club up. So,
wow, bro.
So yeah.
I remember when I bet you won't elbow.
So that was the craziest thing I saw was like them be so defiant and be like, man, we gonna play what the fuck we want to.
Bro, when that energy get to going.
Yeah, you either gotta stay and embrace it or get the fuck out of the room.
Yeah.
Some shit is about to go down.
That was a different time, bro.
Yeah.
So how you feel about artificial intelligence affecting the music business?
I love our AI. I think it's a dope. I'm a sci-fi kid, first of all, so like seeing the shit happen, I'm like, dog, this is really happening. This is fact, yeah. Shit, I watched it 8 years old.
It was right before our eyes, bro.
Right. So I love it. I think it's a great tool. I think people misunderstand AI. I know people that are like, I ain't never using AI. Well, all right. Well, it's 20 years from now, we're gonna see where you at versus the kid who decided to use AI. It's just it's a tool, man. It ain't no different than, you know, people.
Not that you really need it for artistry, because you know you're a super creative person. But
it helps so much, bro. Like,
with
all the ideas I got, I build GPTs, right? So I build my own chats. Now I'll give it all these what they call, like, not a knowledge box. I forget what it's called, but I give it all these blocks of information to behave a certain way.
GBTs?
Yeah. And I condition it to do something a certain way every time. No matter what I say, it knows what the intention is.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be like, I'll make a caption GPT, right, for somebody who's on Instagram. Well, you can go and say, you might be horrible at captions, but it knows, like, if you go and say, I had a great day, it knows who you are, what you're trying to do. It'll take that and conform it in a way that suits what you're trying to say, but in a SEO friendly, effective caption manner, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I love AI though.
I feel like depending on what lane you in, you know, you can use it for whatever you rocking with, you know.
I want a robot.
You could sample you with the samples, you know, you're gonna chop it up like zucchini. But if you're doing something else, you know.
Pro Tools just integrated with Splice, and now they got an AI feature, and it's like if you can't make music today,
there's so many things, but it's like
you can't make a dope record today, because even with AI helping you write, if you can't, all right,
you can at least be able to whip up something.
Yeah, might not be the lane for you if you can't get with it.
So you started making beats a long time ago, then?
I started making beats in '97.
What's the first beat you made?
I remade. There's a song by The Roots called "Distortion and Static." And now I tried to recreate that beat.
The Roots is another one.
Yeah, I tried to recreate that beat on this drum machine. I got what I would call close, you know what I mean? Because it's very limited.
I bet that was hard.
Yeah, I remember just being like, damn. Because I remember having this wild thought of like, I can make music. Like in my mind, somehow I was convinced I can make that. Yeah. It's just sounds. Like they're just putting sounds together. Mm-hmm. And so when I got my first drum machine and I made that beat, I was like, damn, this really is all it is. Is like, there's drums. Just make the drums similar to what you hear. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no right or wrong. Just keep trying until you get it.
You got the good ear for it. But like you said earlier, you're not afraid to try things out. And I think a lot of people, they fail before they even begin because they're afraid to try, or they just...
A lot of people are afraid to try. I think I think a lot of artists don't go hard because I think this is my personal opinion, but I think a lot of them know they'll never make it. They know it deep down. It's never gonna work.
Yeah.
So it prohibits them from really trying hard because they're convinced it ain't gonna work anyway.
That's a good point.
Right? So they just sit there. They'll do enough to make themselves feel like, oh, it's cool. Or they keep up appearances, or maybe they just love it. But in terms of having a career, they already lost because they don't believe. Right? So I think a lot of people, I think majority of artists are like that. That's why you never see them do the right shit.
That's an interesting perspective, bro.
Because they know, like, if I say, like, all right, here's a 6-month plan.
You know what I mean?
If I say here's a 12-month, because a real rollout strategy for any artist, for anybody that's listening,
break it down
really should be 12 to 24 months.
Yeah.
You should have a strategy for that long because no matter what money you invest, it usually takes about, if you invest the right amount of money, it takes about a year to 2 years for you to see a return.
Right.
Because you have to build an audience. You're not going to have an audience tomorrow. Even if you throw $100 grand at it, you're not going to have an audience tomorrow.
Right.
It's over time you build an audience, right? It's a relationship. So you have to build it over time. It can't be overnight. So when you're building that audience, over time, you'll start to see a return because people are staying. They're staying with you for the long term, and then you'll see a return. So, so I think people need to know that, like, it's not tomorrow. So it's a year to 2 year grind.
People aren't even down for the journey, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like when you tell them, when you say, hey, it's gonna take about a year, they're like, damn, bro. And then they don't want to do shit. Yeah. But then what happens is 2 years go by, and they're like,
are they still sitting on the couch?
Yeah, and they're like, damn, bro. Well, I think I'm ready now. It's like,
now you behind.
You 2 years behind.
Yeah.
You feel me? So
instead of instant gratification, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just grind.
Building block, bro.
Yeah, I've been doing music for 30 years. Like,
yeah,
let's be clear.
Listen to this, man.
Yeah, bro. I've been doing music for 30 years.
Yes.
30. So when people, I think it's a compliment when people ask me, they be like, yo, dog, like, how do you know all this shit, bro? Like, you killing it, da-da-da. And then to me, is they think it's like I just learned this last month. They don't understand, like, you're talking to 30 years of doing the shit wrong.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally what it is. Yeah. It's 26 years of me doing all the wrong shit.
Trial and error.
Yeah. You know, now if I would have had internet and AI back then, I would have got through it faster.
Man, beast.
But now it's, so 30 years, man. And
being able to stick to it, and not only doing it 30, but being able, like to say, embrace the journey and stick to it and wait to see the results.
Yeah. The journey is the most important part, man. For anybody that's doing anything, it really is the journey. Because once you get to the end of the journey, right? Yeah. It's like, let's just say you win. You don't, all right, you happy for a week, then what?
Yeah, what's the end?
It's like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to do something different now.
Thanks.
You feel me? So,
like, LeBron don't want to retire, do he?
No, because he loves playing the game. Yeah. So that moment is cool, but it's not what you should be focus on the journey, because that's what makes that the moment. You know what I'm saying?
I had a Flex Your Mind, man. We was talking, we was chopping it up. He's like, there is no end. You know what I mean? There's no end destination, really. You know, it's all about the journey embrace.
I mean, not to get super philosophical,
you can get goals, but
if you look at, this is my own personal philosophy. I think that everything that has life, bro, it continues to grow. The universe is a proven fact that it's still expanding, right?
Yeah.
A child grows. When it has the more light, it gets bigger, right? Animals, plants, ideas get bigger if it has life, right?
Yeah.
They get bigger.
Yeah.
So I feel like everything that you do has to continually evolve. There's no stopping. It's just move on one thing to the next and continue to evolve, because that's like the universal thing to do.
Yes.
For people that don't do that, I'll be like, you're kind of going against yourself, because that's not how the universe is designed. The universe is designed to keep going.
Right.
And when you stop, you're going against the nature of the universe. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
Yeah. So it's like, how is that right? It's not right.
And does the higher power want you to stop? The people that passed away that you love, they want you to just.
I don't think so. I think you're on a journey to do the best you can for the people around you. It's not even for you. It's for everybody else around you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, because think about it. We're all inspired, bro. I wake up doing shit that I do because I watched somebody else do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you just got to be those kind of people.
Yeah. Nice. Let's get to business. Favorite restaurants or home cooked meals?
Home cooked meals.
Do you? Yeah. You cook a lot? You cook?
I do cook. Yeah, I could actually cook. So but I'm not like I don't cook nothing crazy. I'm pretty simple.
You prepare,
but I can though. Yeah.
Like
So,
seafood and all that.
Yeah,
shrimp.
Our favorite food is spaghetti.
Yeah.
So I'm a spaghetti guy. Yeah.
Gotta add the garlic toast with them doing it no more.
Yeah. Yeah, my spaghetti be a little over the top, but yeah.
Speaking of cooks, Raekwon the chef.
Yeah.
Or Ghostface. I know it's
Ghostface.
Word.
Yeah. Ghostface only because one, he's the first guy you hear on 36 Chambers. Two, he's just a great storyteller.
Yeah.
I love Raekwon though. The funny thing is I know Raekwon and we bump into each other quite a. He's like, for some weird reason, I always bump into Raekwon in the weirdest places.
You in New York or anywhere?
New York. It was in Atlanta. Yeah. And it got to the point where he knows that he's like, oh, this guy again. So every time he see me, be like, what up, man? And we talk, and it's wild because it's like we know each other from bumping into each other. That's our relationship.
Shout out to Raekwon the chef, bro. Yeah. That's hard, bro.
Yeah. Raekwon's that day.
Which one you know better, Ghostface or Raekwon?
Raekwon.
These word. That's dope. Loaded Lux or Hollow the Don?
Loaded Lux.
Hard. You like Hollow?
He's the original. Yeah, I love Hollow, but Loaded's the original. Like,
he is, man. He's like the kind of like one of the Godfathers.
He is. He is like, it's like you might not even like. He's like a. I'm not gonna say he's Jordan, but even when Jordan played for the Wizards, it's like that's still Jordan to me.
Right.
He kind of sucks right now, but he don't suck, but he ain't Jordan.
Right. I see what you're saying.
But he's still Jordan, so I respect him. He can do whatever he wants. When he played baseball, hey man, let that man play. He can do whatever he wants. He contributed too much to what we love, and I think Lux is the same way.
I think Lux know that too, bro. Like he gets. I
think he knows he's solidified in this game. Like he's one of the ones. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's a petty one. Mace or Big L?
Mace only because Big L didn't get to live on
catalog.
I honestly think here's what I always. No, he was up, but here's what I honestly think, bro. Here's what I truly think.
Yeah.
None of them would have still been what Jay-Z was, because Jay-Z has a business acumen that I feel like they didn't have.
Yeah.
Big L is just he's a street nigga. He's a spitter. He's a street.
Yeah.
Good example. Look at, and no knock to Cassidy, but Cassidy's not doing. Cassidy ain't as rich as Fabulous.
Right. For a reason. Yeah.
You feel me? Fabulous is more business oriented. He's trying to get his check, but Cass is just that pure. I agree. I got bars.
Raw and uncut.
Yeah, so I think, like Big L was that. Mace was more of the, I'm going to go get a check.
I feel like DMX was kind of like that too, that more raw. He wasn't really on the business. He had a record deal.
He was more raw. I think the people around him made him successful in business. Like DY, Swiss, all of them. He had that. Yeah. If he was by himself, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
You feel me?
Yeah.
Shout out to all them, bro. So what do you enjoy most about the energy that the music business brings you? You know what I mean? Because you stay surrounded with the culture. What's your biggest satisfaction?
Just seeing things work. Like really,
that's earlier.
Yeah, just seeing things work, and then ending up in rooms that I just can't believe sometimes.
Relationships.
Yeah, some relationships that I have is like I just like that's crazy. Right? Yeah. So those are the moments where I get excited, and just seeing stuff work, seeing shit. Like when Marzz has a successful performance, so I feel great about. I love it because it's like. Not a lot of people get to do that. So
get to draw the play out, man. Yeah. Watch it form and execute.
Yeah.
I like that, bro. Plus, you tapped in with the Allegiance group. Shout out to the Allegiance, all the DJs, radio stations.
Shout out to all of them.
Yo, so you stranded on a deserted island, and you can only have a few albums to live with.
Illmatic, it was written. Mobb Deep, the infamous.
The Mob.
Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, Outkast.
That's hard.
Outkast, first album.
Yeah, man, those classic albums.
Those are my favorite joints.
Here's a quick petty one. Hold on, back to the albums though. Those classics, bro.
Yeah, I love them albums.
Man, bro, I was listening to Stillmatic the other day. Stillmatic.
Yeah,
I love that intro beat, bro. That's crazy. I used to rap to it all the time.
Yeah,
man. It's a petty one. Cool G Rap or Prodigy?
Oh. Prodigy.
That's some pettiness behind that one.
Yeah, Prodigy is one of my favorite rappers. I would say my favorite artist is like Nas. Prodigy's probably like number 2. Yeah, so probably Prodigy. Prodigy was just more. I mean, Cool G Rap was hip hop too.
Yeah,
but Prodigy to me was more of a.
Understandable?
Nah, he was more. I don't know how to explain it. He was like to me, Cool G Rap was like he was like this gangster rapper from New York.
More intellectual.
Yeah, he was more intellectual. He was
Yeah.
talking about shit that I was interested in, right? I mean, I ain't
point.
never heard like Cool G Rap talk about quantum physics. I've heard Prodigy talk about
because what was that album he came out with? It was a crazy title to it.
Yeah, I forget.
Dialect or something.
He had all the weird tracks on there.
Yeah, that was insane.
So I fuck with Prodigy.
That's a good point. His mind expanded to a different level. Yeah, tremendously. Actually, you're right, bro. Lil Durk or Rod Wave?
Lil Durk.
Yeah. I like Durk, man.
Rod Wave's cool. I like all. I'm not saying he's not authentic, but I'd rather go hang out with Lil Durk.
Word. I like the Chicago storytelling, bro. Like
Durk is hard.
You get that melody.
And he can rap too. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's one of them. He can rap.
Yeah, I like Durk, bro. Leon Cohen or Dame Dash?
Leo Cohen.
Leo?
Yeah.
Shout out to Leo.
Only reason I think they both on the same level in terms of what they know and how to do and how to make shit happen.
Yeah.
Dame is just too abrasive. I'm not knocking that, but I feel like Leo will get more deals done. You know what I mean? Because he's more trying to play he's playing the game. Dame is more, but you need a Dame. Because Dame is more of like, man, stop playing with me.
Yeah.
You need that because if you don't in this game, they'll take advantage. So I like both of them, but if I had to choose one as my partner to sustain some success or progress, I would probably say Leo. Because I know Dame at some point is going to rub somebody the wrong way, say something crazy. Yeah. But you need them at some of those times.
Man, them both together would be
I wish.
monstrous.
I wish.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that perspective, though.
Yeah.
I love that. Dame probably a little bit more on the creative side, too. Leo is more like, let's get this business done.
Yeah. And Dame is more like, we got to own it, which I'm not knocking that, too. But
ownership.
But, man, you know, again, community. And I get why he's like that. I get it. But at the end of the day, I would probably, you know, pick Leo to do business with.
Yeah. What about Slick Rick or Too Short?
For me personally, it would be probably Slick Rick.
I love Slick Rick, bro.
Only because when Too Short was out, I wasn't into him like that.
Yeah.
But Slick Rick, I was a
he got his own.
But I was a big Slick Rick fan.
Matter of fact, him and Nas dropped the joint the other day. Nas and Slick Rick.
Yeah, Slick just dropped.
Pretty tough, bro.
Yeah.
Luther Vandross or Brian McKnight?
I would probably say Luther.
Word.
I guess only because I feel like he's more of an OG.
Yeah, got that soul.
They both to me the same though, but he's more of the Brian. He probably respects Luther too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's a fun question. Yeah. Paid in Full or Get Rich or Die Trying?
Oh, Paid in Full.
Word.
Yeah, I love Get Rich or Die Trying, but Paid in Full. I saw Paid in Full when I lived in New York when it was not even when it wasn't out. Somebody had it in the barbershop.
Word.
I was watching it in the bar. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I never, you know what I'm saying?
Game changer.
Yeah, I love it. And the fact that it was shot kind of independently, I think that was fire by Rockefeller. And I thought it was dope.
I love that.
It was a good story, so I thought it was dope. I watch it to this day still. I always watch it.
It never gets old, bro. And there's actually some gems and some lessons learned in that movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard, bro. So what song can you go the rest of your life without hearing again? Is that one?
One that I can just live without?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, bro. So I really don't know. Let me see.
Like one of mine is is it Sweet Home Alabama? Yeah, I can go without it.
Damn, that's a good question. You know,
respectfully.
I don't know, man, because I don't think that I have a perspective to like. I don't have a dislike.
You don't want to knock any. Yeah.
No, I just don't have a dislike for stuff. Like I've never been like I don't like that.
That's a good spin.
I've always been like, you know, like if it's a drink, I just don't like the way it tastes. I don't not like it. Yeah. It's just not for me.
It may be for someone else.
Yeah. I don't. You know, some people be like I don't like it, and they try to tell everybody it's the worst shit ever.
Yeah.
I was like, it ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? So there ain't no music that I've ever been like, I could never hear that again. I just never.
I like that take on it though. Just cool. Yeah. Plus, you know that you in that land of music. This is your lane. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, you got suggestions or advice for young artists coming up, you know, trying to be successful, that'll be
man.
beneficial?
Like learn the tools, learn the business.
Yeah.
I don't know any other business where you can just wake up tomorrow and be a professional, and we got to stop that in the music business.
Yeah.
It's not even the music business. There is no music business. It really never was a music business, right? If you really want, and not to get too deep, but if you go to a university, do the history on Universal on why they started.
Right.
They started in Prohibition.
Shout out to Universal.
Yeah, they started in Prohibition. They was using music and taking over these speakeasies to move the liquor.
Word.
It had nothing to do with music.
Yeah.
It was all about using this medium that people love to push this product.
So you think people use that terminology too loosely?
Well, they think that they're in the music business. So what they think, they focus on, I gotta sell music. No, that's not what you meant.
Yeah.
Like even when it was back and it was CDs and shit like that, tapes, it was a manufacturing business, because where was all the money? The money was going into creating the product, the tapes and the CDs, the factory, the boxes, the shipping. That was the business.
Packaging, distribution.
Yeah, that was the business. So today, it's even different today. We're in the tech business. Like all the music and everything you consume comes through technology. Therefore, if you don't, it's like a door. If I don't know how to open a door to go listen to this song, I can never listen. I'm never gonna experience it, right? But I have to learn how to open the door. If there's a bunch of locks and there's a code, I have to learn that.
Yeah.
And so I think with artists today, it's like there is no music business. You're in the tech business. The more you know about how these devices work and how these platforms work, the better you can share your interests with everybody else. And there is no more social media. We live in an interest media age where everything is based off what people are interested in. Not how cool you are. Popularity is gone. It's not popular. It's not popularity that you sell anymore. It's information and experiences, and that leads to popularity. But you have to lead with the other shit first. You know what I'm saying? So it's no more music business in a tech business, and this is no more social media. It's interest media. So you have to convert.
I like how you broke that down. Yeah. Some people get that a little confused, especially when you word things a little differently with the music business or how they view it. You know
I think you should call it what it is, because even when you don't, it gets misconstrued. Like people, if I keep saying it's a music business, but I mean technology, you're not going to get that, because you're going to be like, he keep music. You know what I'm saying? But if I say technology, you think about it a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? So
you're right.
Yeah. So
when you put a label on things, it creates a certain perspective, a certain vision, like the music business. They might start thinking of certain individuals, certain things, and lose confidence.
I'll give you a prime example. When Snoop came out, did you see where Snoop came out and said, like, I streamed 1 billion times. I asked my account how much we made. I only made 40 grand. So what do you think about, like, what's the fuck is up with that?
Yeah.
Niggas who don't know the business was like, fuck Spotify. They da-da-da-da-da. People who know the business was like, oh yeah, Snoop don't know his business.
Right.
There's no way he knows his business if all he made was 40 grand from 1 billion streams.
Yeah.
He does, and the fact that he doesn't know why shows he doesn't know his business.
Yeah.
But only people who know the business know that.
Yeah.
Everybody else will follow and be like, like,
especially since Snoop, he got a big name.
That's what I'm saying. They take it for what it's worth. And there was a study done about how much information that we use in our day-to-day life that's wrong. Like there's like a 35% of what you do is based off bad information. Yeah. And you just don't know.
Based off the wrong resource.
Yeah, it's based off bad information. Yeah. And you don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, it's like when people make claims, there's people that, somebody comes and says, hey, if you take this vitamin, it'll do this. There's people that go do it without doing any research.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that's powerful.
That's what we live in.
You got Google, they give you 25 different answers.
Yeah, exactly.
The media, they're gonna put a twist on things.
So you got to know the business, learn the business, learn the tools that go with it, because they will make your life easier, and make good music. And that's all you have to do, and be consistent. That's it.
I like that one though. Make good music.
Make good music. Yeah, I mean, you can't make shit like think it's gonna work because you're consistent. Like you're gonna consistently put out shit.
Yeah.
So
know yourself, right?
Yeah, make good music. Be mindful. Look for a community. Learn the tools. Learn the platforms, and you'll be fine, bro. Like every artist who's not using ChatGPT, you're a goddamn fool. Just being real.
No doubt.
You're a fucking fool.
Yeah. So I appreciate you tapping in, Wendy, man. You've been getting to the business for a minute. This is overdue. Yeah. Gotta come holler at the big dog.
Yeah, and I'm gonna apologize to this man on camera because we've been trying to do this interview for what I want to say probably like 6 months.
But look, if anybody got an excuse or a reason, it's him, man. He wears a bunch of different hats, a multitude of hats.
Funny thing, real quick, is like when you hit me with you was like, It's all good, bro. I felt so bad, bro.
He got a heart, bro.
And I was like, it's my man too from the crib. I was like, nah, we gotta.
Yo, this is my dog, bro.
We gotta make it happen. So
we knew we was gonna get it popping eventually, bro. But y'all make sure y'all tap in with his new studio, man. It's coming up here shortly.
And anybody in Hardin County, if you watching, I do need to know, do I need to open a studio in Hardin County?
Fill in the blank.
Let me know.
Yeah. And yo, we rocking like that. You got some upcoming projects?
I'm working with an artist right now. I don't want to say who it is, but I will say.
Yeah, you always working on something, man. You got something up your sleeve.
I will say that this artist is probably, in terms of rapping, the best artist I've heard. Not only the best in terms of like song wise, but work ethic.
Word.
And nobody knows who this person is.
And if this man says it, make it official. You better believe it, bro.
So that's coming soon. So and then Marzz got a bunch of new shit coming out too. So
shout out to Marzz, man. Shout out to everybody doing their thing out here, man. You got some shout outs, some reminders?
Nah, man. Just shout out to my other brothers, Chevy and Twin, who I just did an interview with them.
Yeah,
shout
no
out
doubt.
to you.
Shout out to Chevy and Twin, man.
Shout out to Marzz. Shout out to my team, Alicia, Nathan, Mike.
No
shout
doubt.
out to my boy Will. Shout out to my best friend Quint. He don't watch this stuff, but shout out to him. It's my man.
Tap in, bro.
But yeah, shout out to Radcliffe because I do want to come home and do something big. I think I'm in a position finally to contribute to that because that we don't have a lot of stuff down there. So I want to find a way to do something down there. So
I'm waiting on it, bro.
Yeah.
You one of them ones.
Yeah.
Yo, we rocking like that. Make sure y'all tap in. Let's get the business.
Yo, let's get the business.